What is going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook Preview Show. We are looking at the Thursday 7-game Main Slate on DraftKings, kicking off at 12:35 p.m. Eastern Time. And James, the theme of today's show is going to be weather. Because, as you can see, games in Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Chicago all have the rain icon. We just pulled up quickly the Cincinnati weather forecast. Basically going to rain Thursday through Sunday. In this day, we have scattered thunderstorms in the forecast from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. So maybe they just delay this game for a while and then they play clear. The one thing that doesn't change, though, is the wind in this game. I got wind potentially blowing out 15 to 20 miles an hour. So that was just Cincinnati. We know Pittsburgh obviously had their game postponed the other day, or delayed. I think it was pretty severely delayed. Chicago and Cleveland as well. So the 7-gamer could be a 3-gamer. It could be a 4-gamer. It could be a 7-gamer with a bunch of delays. Seems messy. We do have Paul Skeens as our top price starter on the slate, under $10,000 as well. Just $9,700 for Paul Skeens. Shane Baz against Kansas City at $9K. Kodai Senga's against Arizona's at 88. So some interesting spots for pitching. But again, weather is going to obviously dictate where we go. Obviously, we won't have a live show for this slate, so you make sure you check out the playbook on Thursday and get in the Discord for all the updates heading into roster lock on this one. Again, 12:35 p.m. start time.
Yeah, it's incredibly important to be in the Discord with this early of a start. Let's just operate under the assumption that the weather doesn't exist here, because we're recording too far in advance anyway.
Yeah. Sure.
So, like, Paul Skeens, yes,
of course.
Sub 10K, probably for the last time this year.
He hasn't been
maybe the only time
at all this year. It makes no sense why he is.
Like,
I think maybe only because the Cubs matchup, but he just shut out the Dodgers.
The Dodgers,
and
yeah.
9 strikeouts.
Yeah, that one doesn't exactly check out. So, yes, sir. Shane Baz. Yes, sirree, Bob.
Was probably playing him anyways, right? Just
probably playing him anyways. He's had the one bad start against the Yankees. Guess what, John? Yankees they hit home runs. They score runs. That happens.
Kyle Gibson, man. Yeah.
Yes, definitely ask Kyle Gibson. Ask Nestor Cortez where he ended up after the Yankee start. Every other start, Baz has been a 10-5 pitcher.
Yeah.
Kodai Senga has been good. Probably not the spot to do so, but I don't think he's ever lost at Citi Field. I don't think he's ever once lost at Citi Field.
He was obviously a better home player last year. We know that. This being an afternoon game after they play it at night on Wednesday, maybe like there's some guys out of the lineup for Arizona, taking a day off rest, and that lineup maybe is a bit easier for him. Definitely a scary potential start for him. The strikeouts haven't been as high as they were last year, obviously, or 2 years ago, I guess, when he was a rookie. But he's pitched obviously well. I don't think I'd spend 88 when I can play Baz at 9K.
Yep.
We've talked Abbott. The numbers for St. Louis has come down a little bit, but we don't really love Abbott. I think Male and Lugo probably are the two that you would probably go to next year.
Yeah, Male coming off that weird start against the Giants where he couldn't strike anybody out. Hasn't been consistent in that department to begin with, but this is a spot he can generate swings and misses. We had talked about the Lugo Houston start, and he had not really pitched well, but he had peripherally been looking pretty good. And then he just had a 12, because all 12 of his pitches were working in that Houston start, because Seth Lugo is an absolute maniac throwing that many pitches, but he looked great 8,200 is probably too cheap for the pitcher coming off his best year. And, Tampa's obviously presents problems because they're so lefty heavy, but I agree. Like, I prefer specifically Lugo to Senga. I don't think that highly of Abbott. I don't think that highly of Molly, but I guess it is worth mentioning how bad St. Louis has been against lefties lately. We had talked.
We did.
Today, but that offense is also like all waking up at once, right? Now they have Mason Wynn hitting near the top of the lineup and Wilson Contreras homered again. So he like a little different of a lineup than it was, the last time we spoke with them.
No, for sure. White Sox matchup. Chad Patrick's been okay. Do you just get ownership here because he's facing the White Sox?
Yep.
Feels that way, right?
Yep, that's White Sox in general.
Matthew Liberatore is someone that you and I were talking about. I do think that this is a spot for him. Now we'll have to see what the weather looks like, obviously. And I know the wind potentially blowing out in that small ballpark is scary, but he doesn't walk anybody. He's been pretty good at getting ground ball outs, 12, 9, 9, 8 in those starts. Strikeouts are a bit hit or miss, but we know Cincinnati strikes out a lot. I think he's better than a $7,700 pitcher. I wouldn't mind necessarily throwing some darts here.
Yes, when you're talking about like ceilings of guys under 8K, he leads the charge. I know Zach Gallen's down here, but it's a really tough spot, and he has not pitched well. Jeffrey Springs, I guess you can get away with on the road, but he hasn't really been good since his first start of the year. Woods Richardson is fine. Yeah. Colin Ray, like none of that other stuff is exciting. Liberatore is like legit former first round pick. They've messed with him in the bullpen and bullpen part starter, like and now they're finally like, actually, let's just make you a starter and see where this takes us. And it's been good.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't really pitch anything else down here. So
no, agreed.
Catcher position, again, this is really going to be dependent on whether and with who is starting in an afternoon game. Sometimes teams give their starting catchers rest on afternoon games and get ready for the weekend. So we'll see. We may not be seeing Higashioka for a little bit day to day, and they signed Tucker Barnhart. They designated Dane Dunning, as I mentioned. How do you do? Hadn't pitched all year. Pitch, got rocked, let go.
He got a save. Do you know that? He was registered a save because he did the 3 innings. He pitched the final 3 innings. He registered a save. Well,
he's not on their roster anymore. They added Tucker Barnhart because of Higashioka dealing with an injury. So, I wouldn't play Barnhart. I'm just commenting because we were shoving a lot of Higashioka in our lineups lately.
Yes, we were.
Let's see. There's not a lot of value. I mean, Caro at 3,200 might just be the plug.
Or Pajes at 3K.
Or Pajes, yeah, for sure. If you wanted to spend up.
Oh, dude, Ryan Jeffers, 36. Ben Lively, the luck has run out. He is a bad pitcher. And Ryan Jeffers, super, super unlucky start to his year, while also things turning around for him right now. Hitting in the middle of that lineup, that's another mid-tier play I'd go to. Francisco Alvarez, 38. Zach Gallen can't pitch right now, I guess. Zach Gallen just forgot how to pitch to start the year.
Yeah, that's fine. Anything else?
No, but sorry for just like cutting you off and rattling off like 12 guys there.
No, that's fine.
Oh, Trevino. I know we like Liberatore, but Trevino's been freaking awesome. Like he's 3,500 in a great ballpark with the split that he's hammered his whole career. Sure. So Jose Trevino as well. Okay.
First base. Up at the top, Alonso, Naylor, Soderstrom's 49. Manzardo had the walk-off homer. That dude's got a lot of power.
He has a lot of power.
So some potential options to spend up for here.
Dude, Alonso has been amazing for the Mets. 1,100 OPS. Absolutely no issues getting there. Soderstrom, I'm okay with. He slowed down a little bit, a lot of strikeouts. Manzardo definitely looks good. Woods Richardson, fly ball pitcher. Manzardo, 4 home runs his last 8 games.
I was going to say, listen, the batting average is on its way up. from where it was to start the year. 880 OPS. I mean, there's some legitness here to this kid. So
yeah, he just has just so much power upside, right? Like it's
yeah,
just that's where it kind of the conversation starts and stops. Like he's just always live to go yard.
yeah. I'm just more saying like, hitting almost 300 over the last 10 games is helping.
It's true.
So, let's see. Bob Bowers would probably be in the lineup here, but I'm indifferent on that one. You mentioned Contreras. I mean, that's probably it, right? At 35 is your value play here.
Yeah, man. Another home run on shouldn't say another, but hit a home run on in the second game of the doubleheader. Steer on the other side of that, like both the first baseman in that matchup look great.
Sure. Kurtz eventually has the homer, right?
Yeah, he's like a 42% strikeout rate I was looking at.
9 Ks and 20 at bats.
Like, it's obviously such a small sample that, I think.
Remember what Jackson Holiday did when he got called up last year? He was like 0 for 30 or something like that. Remember?
Yeah, I think some of this stuff is getting like a little bit overblown. I mean,
now you're just worried about the kid pressing on himself, right?
Like, yeah, that the mental side of baseball, right? For sure. But he's obviously super talented and has monster power.
Agreed. Berger versus Springs, dude. Just keep playing Jake Berger while he's under 3K.
Yeah, and dude, man, Texas is going to be so popular because they're going to be. Look at the price already. The writing's already on the walls. Berger's 28. They hit him third on the Wednesday slate.
Yeah, Semion's probably free again, right? And he'll just lets you get the Langford leadoff play. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think Berger's obviously a great spot here. That's probably it.
Yep.
Okay. Second base. Semien is where is it? Just our $2,700 for Marcus Semien there. So
it's gonna be 50% owned.
Yeah, Edward
7 game slate.
Edward Julian, $3,100. RIP, our boy.
They're saying he might not need surgery, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that, but he's still gonna be out like 6 weeks.
He's gonna be out a long. It's gonna be out a long time.
Non-displaced forearm fracture. So
yeah,
for Keyshaw. But hey, you know what? That just means he'll be back soon. Hopefully, 2 months. We'll get him back in our lives. But until then, Edward Julian, the top of the lineup looks fine there. I mean, Lau 4,300. Terrain got scratched tonight. I don't know
It was an illness.
Okay. I actually think Gabriel Urias is a good player.
He is a good player.
I wouldn't mind that. A little. Yeah, we don't play Cleveland often, but maybe a little Cleveland thing. Jeff McNeil, 32.
Well, they're not fun to play.
No, they're not. They'll be funner if Manzardo becomes a good player, because then you have someone to actually play with Ramirez. Because like Quan is like $5,300 and the most boring player
ever
that exists.
Yeah. And they hit Nolan Jones second, and Nolan Jones is hitting 174. So it's not like what do you like other than Ramirez Manzardo? I mean, Arias is good, but they also hit Carlos Santana in between him and Manzardo. So again, why did this team do what they did?
I don't know. Why did they get rid of Naylor and not replace him with anything? So
yeah, they Manzardo, right? They signed Carlos Santana,
but I mean they're just waiting for Fry to come back and DH for them.
Fry, yeah.
All right, third base position. Again, Jose Ramirez is $5,400. Arenado versus Abbott at 42. Again, I like Liberatore too much, so maybe I'm a little biased here. You could obviously play Novelli Marte at 4K if you wanted to. Young's $3,800 here.
Yeah, I like Liberatore, but it's not a very good pitcher's environment in Cincinnati. If there's
tell that to Steven Matz.
Yeah, well, good for Steven Matz. I'm happy for him. I'm super happy for him. Guys, yeah. Good for you, Steve. Keep up the good work. Yeah, Josh Young is going to be really popular at 38.
Yeah, Caleb Durbin's down here at 34 as well. Brooks Lee, Lively at 31. I like that.
Yeah. Luck's been a little bit more on his side. I think Minnesota looks pretty good in this spot in general. So I could get to Lively is a bad pitcher. We knew that last year. He just skated by.
Agreed. Shortstop. Ellie's up at the top. Bobby Witt's 57. Lindor versus Gallen was kind of interesting.
All three.
Yeah. Wilson 41. They hit him second today, Jacob Wilson.
They did.
Trying him around, right? They're just seeing where he could fit.
Well, they should. You've said it forever, but they should continue to hit him up there.
Yeah. Dude, you have so many high strikeout guys at the top of your lineup. Like, put a guy like him that won't do that. Give yourself a chance to have a man on first, Yep. Give yourself a shot.
And for to be 2-0 with Rooker hitting behind him.
That's what I'm saying. Give yourself a guy to have a man in front of any of those power guys. Soderstrom, Rooker,
right.
Whoever. Get a 2-run homer instead of a solo. So we like Josh Smith. It's lefty, but he'll still be in the lineup there. We know Caballero has a lot of speed. Gets on first. You shut it out, Mason Wynn. You go right back here if you want. Mason Wynn right now. 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored and a double. So he's having a huge. This is the first leg of that double where he went 2 for 3 with 2 homers. He's 2 for 2 with 2 doubles, a double and 2 runs scored right now. So another big night for Mason Wynn here.
And he likes hitting lefties. That was another thing last year. They let him off against lefties. And I think you and I had kind of talked about Mason Wynn. I would like to play him, but he's hitting 9th. And now he's hitting 2nd. And he's not moving if he's going to hit like this. They're not moving him out of the 2-hole if he's going to continue to hit. So now over 800 OPS for the year.
Batting average up over 270, OPS up over 800, just like that.
Dude, there is a lot to like.
Victor Scott just had an RBI.
Yeah, it's a not good game for Cincinnati again.
No, Cincinnati's getting blown out 9-0 after getting shelled in that first game too. So
yeah, things are not going swimmingly for them. But yeah, I think Mason Wynn looks great, and they're another add to the Texas column of really cheap stacks that I could see people gravitating to.
Yep, agreed. Anything else down here? Probably not, right?
I don't think you need to drop below.
Okay. Outfield then. Kyle Tucker against Paul Skeens, $6,300. Corin Carroll against Kodai Senga, $61. O'Neal Cruz gets Colin Ray. O'Neal Cruz led off today with a double and a run scored. He's $5,800. Chorio probably again won't do any cubbies here, but I think it was our guy Anthony in our DFS chat today asked, "Is Juan Soto a bust?"
Is Juan Soto a bust?
I mean, probably based on where he was and
the money he got.
Yeah, and I mean, 3 homers right now, that's not what you were looking for.
Go just do this. Open up Baseball Savant.
Yeah.
I'm
sure he's just getting unlucky if that's what you're trying to suggest. So. Does it say anything that my Baseball Savant page auto opens to Ben Rice, or is that just a?
Nobody would have guessed.
I mean, those numbers aren't great at the top.
Not. There's a lot of really good batted ball stuff.
Yeah,
that will
good exit velo, great hard hit, great hard hit, great squared up percentage. But expected WOBA 350, expected batting average 460, expected slugging 413. Those are not good. Only barreling 5%. How are you squaring up 95 percentile but only barreling 5%?
Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
I think he's gonna do just fine.
Like I said on the show last night, at some point 5K Soto is going to be free money. But for now, we just play Wyatt Langford at 5K. That is also free money. So
yeah, that's also true.
Just play that guy
against the lefty and against the lefty. Even, yeah.
Yep. Again, you can play you can play Yelich, Butler, Buxton, crazy hard hit rate for him. If we're not in on Lively, a lot of upside for home runs for Buxton there. Quan, the most boring man in the world, hitting 330 with an 870 OPS. Don't even know where it comes from, but he's doing it. So you can get that if you wanted to.
Byron Buxton also, by the way, stole his 7th base.
There was a time
Wednesday.
and a place where Byron Buxton was supposed to be a 30-30 man. So
30, it was supposed to be 30-30. Yep.
There was a time and a place. 90 percentile hard hit rate for Byron Buxton right now. Dude, he has 100. He is 100 percentile sprint speed, Byron Buxton. So he's like
he's the fastest player in baseball.
The fastest players in baseball this year, Byron Buxton. So see how long the hammies hold up. Luis Robert, we're always in play on just because he's talented.
Yep.
Victor Scott I like, but it's lefty. Actually, Scott is switcher. No, lefty.
If Nimmo's in the lineup against Gallen, showing
sure.
off like the most insane game of his career.
Yeah, where is he? Yeah, there he is.
4,000.
Benny Biceps. Chandler Simpson will still lead off at 35.
Yep.
What's Martinez been up to? Anything? Martinez has been okay.
He doubled off Papa Lopez as well on the Wednesday. On the Wednesday slate.
Our boy Mason Wynn struck out. Unfortunate men on base. Sad.
You know what? You can't
get a hit every time.
You know? Yeah. Unless you're last year Jose Miranda. Then you can literally get a hit every at bat for like 13 straight.
Isaac Collins let off today without Turang. So I guess if that ends up happening again at $2,500 against Burke, we'd do that.
Just for the sole purpose he's leading off.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Alrighty. Lineup build time here. We're just going to assume no weather. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, let's just assume no weather.
I mean, I still kind of want to play Baz over Skeens, I think.
Could we play them both?
Probably.
Is it possible that we? It's possible we
could win. 4K Burger.
Isaac Collins, by the way, let off the game with a double this evening.
Who did?
Isaac Collins.
Today?
Yeah.
Second base.
Semyon.
Yeah, Semyon.
I know it's like he's not like he has been a little better. He's also just too stupid free.
All right, well, we can play almost any outfield we want. If we do like Buxton here.
Yeah, I like that.
Langford.
One off O'Neill.
O'Neill, yeah. There you go. Baz, Skeens, Jeffers, Berger, Semyon, Lee, Wynn, Buxton, Langford, Cruz, 3-man Minnesota, 2-man Texas, 1 off St. Louis, 1 off Pittsburgh, I guess is what we did there with Baz and Skeens, your top 2 price pitchers. We did it pretty easily. So
yep.
The only thing that's going to really impact this slate is going to be what the weather reports show tomorrow morning when our guy Kevin Roth over at Roto Grinders puts out the weather report. Again, make sure you check out the DFS playbook. Get in that Discord. No live show for Thursday. Grande and I will have the preview show, and then we'll be back live on Friday. Good luck, everybody. We'll catch you later.